I have seen a half a dozen new venture capital firms just focused on brain health and handling different issues that are popping up. So that's really great.
Well, one more thing I just want to add, just real quick,
yep,
is that cat's claw out of the Amazon rainforest actually belongs to a family of plants called rubiaceae, and rubiaceae is also related to quinine. So the hydroxychloroquine drug that they're using against COVID-19 is actually derived from quinine, which is a red bark tree that comes out of South America. So it's very related to cat's claw. And quinine was used to against malaria, even as early as World War I. So we're actually looking, cat's claw has been known to show antiviral activity against dengue virus, herpes simplex virus, Epstein-Barr, and we actually think it works against the SARS COVID-19 virus. And so we're actually implementing studies with the top virology lab at University of Washington, Dr. Deborah Fuller, who's actually working on a vaccination for COVID-19. But we're putting together some big grants that we're actually going to look at all of this.
There's a lot of activity in that space. We're seeing people who are getting grants of 20 million and above right now in the COVID-19 space. So that's really fantastic. So again, Alan, thank you so much. People are inquiring about your presentation. So I'm going to give them your email address and you can forward it to them. Great. As well. So great.
Thank you.
I want to switch over to Fred Nazem. So just a quick intro again. I introduced Fred at the beginning of this, but I've known Fred for many years. And what's interesting is that for at least 10 years, Fred has been talking about these kind of pillars of health that are out there in terms of, healthcare, these diseases that people carry. And then when you look at what happened with COVID-19, so many people who had comorbidities that Fred has mentioned in the past were having problems with COVID-19. And so then Fred had created Rejuvenon, and what was very interesting about that was that he was able to look at wellness and put it together with telemedicine, and this COVID-19 occurred, and telemedicine has become a big thing. So I'm looking forward to Fred's presentation. Fred, why don't you let us, talk about, what your vision is of the healthcare space right now, telemedicine, and give us an update on Rejuvenon. So,
great. Let me share. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for giving me this opportunity again. Marty has been very nice over the years when I started this company and trying to build it. But anyway, let me see if I could. I think this is it. Let's see.
Great. And do you want to put it on a slideshow, which makes it a bigger screen?
Yep. Okay. I'm going to put it on the slideshow and start from the top. Now, let me make this smaller. All right. I'm going to fly through a lot of the slides because if somebody wants to go into details, I can give them this. I can give you the slides, or we can talk at some point, or you can talk to our bankers, as I'll show his name at the end. Essentially, what happened with this COVID-19, but even before that, telemedicine, telehealth, ability to use digitized approach to health, to delivery of healthcare, is becoming very popular. It has become now the front door to healthcare. Let me see, how do I go forward here? Huh. All right, sorry. This is, of course, the legal notice. My lawyer said you've got to show it very quickly. I'll fly through it. Essentially, we've got a very senior team and been there and done that before. My background is, I think you heard that you can look me up, but bottom line is that I've been building companies for a long time. I'm a scientist by background, biochemist, physical chemist, and quantum physicist, and then got an MBA from Columbia and got involved in the business side of things and started building companies, became one of the early venture capitalists, and switched about 20 years ago to actually building the companies as opposed to just funding them. I've been lucky to have had been involved with over 60 IPOs. 7 of the companies that I was co-founder, 3 of them became $1 billion in size. And some of them you probably know, Cirrus Logic, which if you got any kind of electronics around you, you got one of my chips in there, and cell phones and what have you. Bluebird Bio, which was the first company in the in gene therapy area replacing bad genes with good genes. And I couldn't give it away 10 years ago. And now it's worth over $8 or $10 billion in market value. I'm very happy about some of that development. Anyway, the rest of the management, I think very talented. Rishi is a first-rate doctor, emergency care doctor, who was very technologically oriented, who was the head of development of all the technology for medical side of things at the University of Penn. And Bob Brook is a long-term, 30-year plus healthcare leadership position in all kinds of various places, particularly United Healthcare, knows this whole area of healthcare delivery systems extremely well. Tom Okarma built 2 other companies with me. Both of them became sizable, billion-dollar size, so I'm hoping this would be a repeat between us, and so on and so forth. Let me see if I could. This slide will summarize what I'm going to tell you, then it allows me to really jump through a lot of the slides and create some time for answering any kind of questions that you may have, particularly post-COVID questions. We offer really a complete health solution, the sick care and the well care. The problem that we face in America today and around the globe, it's not only unique here. US healthcare is fragmented, expensive, unfriendly. Our doctors really treat the disease. That's the disease-based learning that they do in medical school, not health learning. They don't understand health, quite honestly. They're beginning to, and they're spending a lot more time on it. We have 250 doctors in our roster who we've been teaching the health side of it, and they've really come along and wonderful about it. So the idea is to really treat the whole person, not just the disease. The chronic diseases, some of the facts that are very important, account for 75 cents in every dollar we spend in healthcare. And they are the ones who are really the bane of human existence. And you saw it in the elderly in particular, and you saw what happened to them at the COVID area. Allopathic medicine, pill dispensing medicine, has basically failed curating this thing, or curing this thing rather. Diseases are just not capable of being solved by just giving you a pill to go home. They require a lot of different things. As you brought the name of Dale Bredesen, who wrote The End of Diabetes, and no, The End of Alzheimer, which is a great book, by the way. I recommend everybody to read it. He talks about having about 37 holes in the roof, and then they just plug one of them. The drain is gonna pour from the other side. It's a collective work. If you go see a doctor and this dermatology, he gives you some stuff, or she gives you some stuff, and then its influence on the rest of your body, you don't know what's going to happen, instead of really taking this whole holistic approach to it. Bottom line is that I think what happened with COVID-19, it blew the cover out of our failed healthcare system. I cannot believe that in 21st century America, with all of the might and everything, we just got caught with our pants down, frankly. It's just terrible. And so as a result, people are going to be looking into working for themselves, understanding themselves, worrying about their own health, because frankly out there, if you go into the system, just like one of the elderlies that I just was unfortunately one of my family members who got caught in one of the hospitals. He was 87 years old. It was good as dead in 2 days. It's just horrible what has happened. And I think there's a huge lesson to be learned out of all that. Now, what is our solution? It's a whole healthcare. This is personalized telemedicine and telehealth, both wellness and illness on the same axis of delivery. We have a bunch of things that I'll talk to you about, but we score your health by our initial conversations with you and getting you onboarded. And then from there on, drive you to better health. We use a lot of technology, including AI and blockchain and what have you. As a result, it made, after 3 iterations of the platform, which is elegant platform, I think, is now at the point where we can deliver care at a very reduced price at a very effective way. Anyway, it took 5 years of nonstop work, as Marty and some of the people that are on the phone could tell you, who've known me, in a labor of love. So medicine is suddenly, telemedicine has become the front door. We are one of the front door drivers. Let me see. Now, that's what I was telling you. The whole care is the way we were going to go about it. And some of you have seen this graph that I showed. This is from Stanford. Basically, when a child is born in America, to the age of 30, all of us get to be our strongest. We have got all the chi, all the power in life. And then you go downhill, that gray line that goes way down. And by the time you get over the age of 60, what happens is that you get all of these diseases accumulating. Their cumulative effect or comorbidity starts getting you. That's really what happened to the elderly in the COVID problem. Now, if you went on the top line there and it just followed the kind of thing we're promoting, and the literature is full of kudos for this and approval of it, the idea is you can go live longer and you can live a lot healthier. And so at the very end, a month or so, you just drop. So you have a very good death as opposed to bad death. I often say I would like to die young, but as late as possible. I don't want to die old as late as possible. I don't want to die old definitely as early as possible. And that's really where we go for it. Anyway, this picture basically says we wellness platform and the telemedicine platform, we brought it together. Together is what we are trying to deliver. Our clinical wellness program, I don't want to go over the details of it. Again, I can send you these slides if you wanted to go into details. But basically, there is a huge important science that came around in 2009 called telomere biology. And the other science that has been around that's called mitochondrial science. So those of you who've got scientific background will understand what I'm talking about. But the telomeres, essentially, they're the tails at the end of our chromosomes, 23 chromosomes. And the longer they are, the healthier we are. The shorter they are, the sicker we are. And what is even more exciting, scientists have discovered how to lengthen these things, in order to make you more healthy. And so those are the information that we put together in building Rejuvenon. And essentially it comes to 4 pillars of nutrition, fitness, stress, and community. So if you have the good phytochemicals that you eat, organic, hopefully, if you stay fit, exercise at least half hour a day, and you manage your stress from a lot of different ways. You can do it, meditations and yoga, and more importantly, some of the new products that are on the market to help you with it. And then if you have social support, the family, friends and all that stuff, people who are alone, they usually die and have a lot of problems. You probably know couples who lived together 50 years, one of them dies and the other one follows in a very quick fashion within the year. The mortality rate of those people are very high.
Greg, we have about 10 minutes left for your presentation. Can you talk a little bit about telemedicine and how you were impacted by all these changes, or did it impact you and your ability to deliver service?
Right. What has the way we've been going with it along the way comes COVID, but they've now realized that this is in the middle of the night they want to call and they want to be able to talk to someone instead of going to emergency room, or instead of going to the doctor's office and sitting around for an hour to find out what's going on with them, and meanwhile could catch some kind of disease, particularly with COVID-19 around. They didn't want to go there. So we got so many orders suddenly. As I sit in here, we're dealing. I'll show you actually a slide at the end quickly. I won't go through these slides, but basically, let me just say that the way we impact them, and we got impacted with this thing, is they will go through a Rejuvenon experience. That's wellness and sick care comes together. So in the middle of the night, if you've got something going on with you, one of our doctors could be on in 5 minutes and could prescribe things for you, or triage you the next morning to go see somebody as a specialist and what have you. And then on the wellness side, we just drive you to make sure you do not get to a point where your immune system is really shot. The whole key to COVID-19 and problem with COVID-19 is that of people immune suppressed. Immune suppressed people pay a heavy price for it. That's what the brown and black community really have been experiencing. That's what the elderly have been experiencing. And so the key is to make your immune system really strong, keep it strong, feed it right, so that you can withstand the vicissitudes of problems, like COVID-19. You asked a question about, let me see. if there's anything in here, I won't go through the journey. Basically, on the left-hand side of this slide, you will see that there is 10 biomarkers. Through those science, the science that we were talking about, we reduced it to 10 biomarkers. We measured that on you through questioning and also some blood tests. We give you a score. With that score, you begin your life with us. We give you a first visit with one of our doctors who help you to get onto this system. And then from there on, advice that is very personalized for you. Material that we share with you, education we share to push you through. So the people in COVID-19, our members, you know, rushed to our system to make sure that they were doing the right thing and that, you know, their immune system in the top shape. I already discussed telemedicine, telomere biology, but no matter what kind of disease you've got, like the constellation of these things, we just take the ones, let's say you're a 65-year-old man, got a little bit of asthma in your background, you have some diabetes, and cold and flu got to you in the various seasons. You know, you have some high blood pressure problem from time to time, and maybe even some mental health. That will define who you are. Then our system personalizes and goes after helping you with that. So that's sort of like what the system is, and I can go into much more detail, granular detail, but what is our business model like? We built it on creation of value for all of our constituents, the employees, the shareholders, but more importantly with our customers. And so for $9.99 a month and a $10 copay for the doctors after the first visit, you can have 90% of your healthcare taken care of. I want to give this to everybody. That was really my purpose in getting the company started.
Right, does insurance pay for this?
You can, but for $10, you don't have to worry about it. You know, of course, to the extent that you have insurance and they pay for it, of course they pay for it. What is good about this recently, what happened is telemedicine has become popular as a result of push by the president. 2 or 3 important things happened. One was that our doctors could practice across state lines. So you can do telemedicine. I can do this. A doctor in New York could do something for California. The second thing is that a lot of the regulation that stopped telemedicine from moving has been removed, and as of yesterday, more is going to be removed. And then the insurance companies got the message that they have to pay for it, so they're paying for it. Those are 3 things. Our approach has been B2B to C, B2B, B2B to C, and B2C. We go through across all these channels and have business to show for all of them. Here are some of the businesses that we have already. The top half is the contracts that we have. Altogether about 80 million people plus. We can't take all of them in. The funnel is big. We're trying to work through it. We just recently signed a deal with New York City for its citizens with 250 to 300,000 Medicare patients, seniors. We're going to take care of them. And we're in the midst of trying to put that forward. That's one of the reasons we are raising some funds to afford all of that going forward. And the ones in the bottom is what we are in the midst of continuing to, you know, having conversations with them. And the funnel could even get much bigger when we have a few more employees. The bottom line is that it's been a very good time for our business. This is our business model. For every 10,000 annual paid members, we have different places that we have margins in activities, from monthly subscription to doctor copays, the $10 that I was talking about, the drug copays, and the pieces that we get from you know, ordering them for them. Anyway, from that on, you can read the rest of it. The bottom line is that we do $1.5 million for every 10,000, and we're looking at a huge funnel. So when that comes through, the numbers are going to go crazy, I think.
Hey, just a quick question. So, I mean, you've talked about, maybe you can go back to the slide where it shows all your partnerships.
Yes.
These companies you have partnerships with, they don't pay you for every employee. It's basically optional for an employee to sign up. Is that how it works? Or,
yep.
And what's your capture rate of the number of employees per company?
Well, you know, we just started with this big funnel. So we don't have a lot of them, but we have thousands, if you will, at this point. And they're usually, the conversion rate is very high, depending on who you are talking about. For instance, Benefit Hub is like 8.5 million people of the most sophisticated employees of Amazon and some of the others, but we have to really go in front of them and market ourselves to them. The one in New York City is pretty straightforward. It's basically, we know the pool, we're going after them. So not that much marketing. It's marketing up front, trying to get with the city and close the contract, which is what recently we did. Veritas is a very large, this is the Christian network, almost 80 million people to itself. We've got that about 6 months ago. We're waiting for the product to be there, and now the product is there. We're pushing it through with them. Again, all of this needs continue to need marketing to the individual, because that's ultimately who uses it. But we get the agreement with the companies and have the open vista to go after them. And some of them are automatic, like, you know, like the New York City through public, and some of them we just continue to have to market them and get the individuals onto the.
Gotcha. Okay, keep on going.
All right. If we do, you know, everybody says this is conservative. I've built a lot of companies over the years, and I just want to make sure that I utter the words that if I have to eat it, it doesn't going to kill me. Basically, this is conservative. We will do $8 million our first year after the funding here this next month, and we will use all of the margin, which is pretty nice margin, 50%. We put it back into the business. We end up losing $3.8 million as operating loss. Year 2, year 3, you could read, it goes from 40 to 100 million, and the bottom line keeps growing very nicely. It's cash flow, and balance sheets look very good. People get interested. I can give you, we have very sophisticated forecasting numbers. So I can share that with you. But I just wanted to give you enough time to ask questions. This is use of proceeds, basically putting mainly into the marketing. We want to raise $15 million starting June 1. We're going to go out with that. And there's been a nice number of circles already. According to this, we'll use about $10 million of it. And the additional 5 million is basically for additional marketing, social media and all that. We have in the 10 million a fair amount of social media, but we really like to go out. We're the most well-kept secret at the moment. It's actually, we're quiet in order to get the systems done. Now that it's ready and going out, so we're going to be talking to the people out there. This summarizes everything I was telling you about. The total available market is $2.3 trillion of 3.4 trillion. That is the healthcare system. It is huge. And specifically, we think 25, according to the various research, 25% of this total available market is something that is immediately available to us. And it's a very big field. We will welcome competition. We love to work with them if we can. I don't think there is anything as unique as ours. Of course, we think that, but we really seriously do the healthcare, both healthcare and sick care being on the same axis. It's the same human being. Taking care of them holistically is the way to go.
Fred, this is excellent stuff. We have to get on to Pat Saldana because she has another call following this. But I think this is just excellent. And I think what's going to be happening because of COVID-19 is everybody's going to be looking for new solutions.
Yeah, let me just add this last slide. These are about a couple of months old, but the numbers are even better. A few companies in our field went public. Health Catalyst, Livongo, and Teladoc has recently been getting, in fact, those two guys who are running it are very good friends of mine. They used to work for me at Oxford. And the market valuations are huge. None of them are profitable. The market values for them are billions of dollars. So we're shooting. I'm hoping in 18 months we will be where they are in terms of public offering.
Fantastic. Well, listen, Fred, thanks so much. And we're going to circulate your information among everybody that's registered for this. So, Pat, you're on mute. Do you want to unmute? Here, I've unmuted you. Perfect. Okay. Excellent. Right. So, Pat, you really don't have to introduce yourself. I mean, you've got tremendous bona fides. You've been in the family office space for a long time, and now you work with family businesses that are multi-generational.